Right, excited and honored to be in this regional. I think it's a great field. I don't know that there's any regionals that are easy this year, but this one's especially tough, and one we're familiar with a couple of the teams and play them during the regular season. So that's definitely something that helps with the preparation process. But UW, we haven't played them in a long time, but we've been going to work on them, and obviously a really good team, third in the pack. A lot of things they do well as a program, so we're excited to get on the field tomorrow, and really proud of the group we have this year, what they've accomplished so far. But I know they have expectations, and not just happy to be here anymore.
Dan, what can you say just about the state of the program? 9 consecutive years, I think one of only 5 teams to reach this stage each of the last 9 years, and how big is just the experience of guys that have had postseason experience under the belt this weekend?
Yeah, I think it's a real testament just to the culture of our program and how things are just passed down from player to player. And you nailed it, experience is a big deal. And guys who've experienced playing in regionals before, being in the postseason, they know what it takes. Not just from once you get here, how to handle it, but to me, it starts in August. Like those guys who've been in a regional, they know that it's not something you just turn on come the end of the year and make a run at it. Like it literally starts day one in August, and you got to be pouring into your teammates and pouring into your development. And because college baseball is at such an all-time high right now that everybody is good, there are no easy games. You got to show up every single day. I think that's another thing we're really proud of with our guys, and the way they go about it in our program is, we treat it like every single game is a championship game, and we talk about it. It's like the way you're going to act, the way you need to play in a regional, the way you need to play when you're tied 1-1 in a super regional. Like that's how we're going to go about every game. Like how would you be in the dugout? What would your approach be? What's your mindset? And then we start preparing for all those moments from day one. So it's a neat thing for our program that we have been in 9 straight, but also know that it's a tremendous amount of work that goes into getting to every single one of them. There's not one of them that's easy to get to because college baseball is really strong now, and so we're happy to be in every single one of them. But at the same time, we've won 2, and that's now the goal for the program, is not just to get to a regional, but to win it and then go beyond that.
How about offensively? I mean, this has been a unique year in terms of power and speed and the way that you're able to do multiple things offensively. Speak to that just in terms of, I think there's 3 teams coming in the postseason that have 100 home runs and 100 stolen bases. There's a lot of ways that you can hurt teams on the offensive side.
Yeah, going into the season, and traditionally we've always had a pretty strong offense and pride ourselves on being able to drive the baseball. But we also know that once you get to the postseason that you can't just rely on that. You can't be a one-dimensional team. You got to be diverse and have multiple ways to score, depending on the weather conditions, depending on the pitcher. There's a lot of things that can dictate how you have to play a game and how you're going to be able to best score and win that game. So I think that's something we've really grown as a program, is being more diverse as an offense. And this year it really started in probably 2018. That's when we really started to push the envelope more on the bases. And then this is an all-time high. Coach Pennington's done an outstanding job with the guys. I think it starts with we're athletic up and down the lineup. Like 1 through 9 can steal a base if it's given to them. And then you add on top of that the work that Coach Pennington's done with them so that they're ready to do it, they're prepared to do it, and when the opportunity presents itself, we're going to take advantage of that. I think the other part of the diversity of the lineup is, we've hit a lot of home runs, but we feel like we've got some complete hitters too, that it's not just an all or nothing mentality, that their goal is, to square up a good pitch. And every time that's our approach, on time, best swing, like your best swing on a good pitch and good things happen. And, honestly, the goal is more to hit a double, and sometimes those doubles turn into home runs. And a lot of times that double swing is a single that can score a run just as easily. So, that's the other part of the offense that we've been really proud of this year, is the situational hitting. A lot of runs have come on the home run, and we've manufactured a lot by stealing base and getting a guy into scoring position. But then it's also, you got to finish that off. When you steal the guy, get him to third base, then the guy just ball and play to the shortstop, and boom, we got a run. So I think the offense have done a really good job of taking what is presented to us, and then we have had the times where it just we're able to blow it open too, because we got some pretty talented hitters.
Kodie, I want to ask you, this is, you came here and you said, hey, I came because I wanted to win, and to be in this situation and to have an opportunity with this team, what does that mean to you, and how special has it been to be a part of this club this year?
I mean, it's meant the world, honestly. Like being able to play on a team that's winning and being on a team that's as close as we are. That was kind of the main pull when Coach Heefner and Coach Pennington were recruiting me. Is they've been to the regional 8 years in a row. We made it 9 years this year, and I don't see why that doesn't continue as we got on the road. But I mean, it's meant the world to be a part of this team and to be with the guys, and how close we've gotten throughout the year has been unreal.
Zane, you've been a big piece of the bullpen for a number of years, and so that's one of the strengths of this ball club, the arms and the pen. What can you say just about the confidence that the team has lead in the 6th inning and the arms that you have available as you get into those late innings?
I think when you look at the bullpen, it's easy to see the results that we've kind of gotten throughout this year, which has been very consistent from guys like Brady and Kyle. And I mean, it's just the thing that I look at, though, is how many different pieces we have. Nobody's the same. It's like we're all able to do something a little bit different that provides something for the team. And so I think that's one thing that makes it really tough on teams as far as like game planning and kind of working around each pitcher that we had to throw out there. It's like it's a different look from every single guy.
Dan tomorrow, Ryan Johnson on the mound, and what can we expect from him, and just how dynamic has he been? You've coached some great pitchers through the years, and he's another one that's pretty special.
Yeah, we have had some really good ones, and he ranks right up there as, one of the best Friday night starters that we've had. With the season he's put together, the other thing about Ryan is, like, he just continues to get better. Like, he's a really hard worker. He has elite stuff. So he has the Friday night type stuff. He has the type of stuff that you can start him game 1 of a regional against anybody, and you feel like he's given us a chance. But it's just been fun to watch him as the season's gone on. Like, he has continued to develop and become a better pitcher. Like, elite stuff, but he's not a thrower. Like, he's out there pitching, and even last week I thought, he took a step up as to who he is as a pitcher and gave himself another way to get guys out, even in the 15th week of the season. The other thing, excited about Ryan is because he's such a disciplined guy and a hard worker, and just the way we've been able to use him all season long, he's fresh and he's ready. He's not wore out and just kind of hanging by a thread at the end of the season. Like, I fully expect to see him go out there and have as good a stuff as he's had all season long tomorrow, maybe even better, just because he's excited to do it.
Yeah, I was just going to, we've talked about the 12 regionals and the 9 straight and the 2 super regionals. What does it take to get to that next level, and what do you think about this team that makes you think that they do have that next gear and the ability to be the next team that jumps to a super regional?
Yeah, I think first the question, what does it take to get there? It's very, very hard. And, it takes winning game 1 tomorrow and, just playing great in this regional. We can't look anything beyond that. Like, this is, Washington's a great team, Oklahoma State, Oral Roberts, all 4 teams in this regional have the ability and have had the success this year where it wouldn't surprise anybody if any one of the 4 wins this regional. So we got to play great. We got to just continue being who we are, not change anything about how we've gone about our business. And then, you get to the super, and then it's the same thing. Now it's a 3-game series, which is what you do every weekend. It truly comes down to, this is one thing we talk about all the time, is college baseball, Division I baseball today, it's at such a high level, there's so much parity that it is truly just whoever plays the game better will win that game. And that's the great thing about the game of baseball. It's not just you out-talent somebody. Like, if the guy on the mound is out there executing pitches and does a good job and they play defense behind him and, you get your hitting done at the right time, like, you're going to win that game no matter who you're playing against. And I think we've seen that in recent years, too. Your question, like, what's it going to take to get there? Well, we've had 2 of the most dominant teams in the last 20-some years of Division I baseball, last year in Tennessee, the year before in Arkansas, who didn't make it to Omaha. So that's just another testament to it's about how you play the game. But the thing we love, to answer your question about what about this team and how do we think this team has the ability to do that, I think we have very good talent. There's no doubt about that. But the thing that from very early on in the fall, and then we've seen it play out this spring, and it's just continued to get better, is number one, their work ethic. Like, they have prepared at an elite level. And truly have shown up every single day and prepared themselves to be in a moment like this. And then the type of teammates they are, that they truly care about each other. The chemistry on this team is outstanding. And my experience has been when you get in the big situation, there's no way to quantify how important that is. That when you're out there and you've got, every single guy in that dugout is pulling for you and has your back and wants you to succeed. And, that just gives that guy confidence. And we've seen time and time again how I think that's carried us come into the season, postseason, close games, that's where our confidence comes from, is that we're not by ourselves, that we're doing this with and for each other. And that's what we love about this team. You combine those two things together, the work ethic and the care for each other. And, that's what allows us to feel good about that we're going to compete really well in this regional.
Kodie and Zane, I'll ask you, you faced some adversity early in the year. Every team does at some point. It came early. There was a 5-game stretch, 5-game losing streak, but an incredible turnaround. It was a 14-game win streak. You won 15 consecutive in conference. When you think back on that moment, what was the turning point, and what are the factors that allowed this team to play the way you did, really kind of through the second half of the season, leading into the postseason?
I mean, I think without those 5 losses, I don't think any of that happens. I think the 5 losses make us come together and get closer and really buy in, and that also increases the work ethic. It's like we can't just roll into somewhere and think we're going to win. Like, that's not how it works in college baseball. So I think using that is why all those wins happened.
Yeah, kind of building off that, I think it definitely pushed us to work harder, but at the same time, there was never any panic within kind of our clubhouse of like, oh no, like, do we have this? Are we sure we're good enough? It was full belief from every guy the whole time. It was just a matter of kind of showing us that we just got to play the game the right way in order to get the results we wanted. We can't just show up and win. I think we've kind of taken those lessons and just learned from it the whole season.
Zane, from your perspective, you were on that 21 team that went to a super. What if anything changes this time of year? I know your coach always says everything needs to stay the same, but what's the difference as you get into the postseason?
As much as we say a lot of everything's going to stay the same, there's a lot that does change, but it's nothing that we can control. It's all the outside environment and things like that. And I think that's why it's so important to be close as a team, because when everything else around us is changing, if we stay the same as a group, that's what really makes you tough to beat. It's like the teams that start trying to be somebody they're not, or trying to perform better than they have all year, that's where you start to kind of lose your identity. And I think this team has a really strong sense of who we are and what makes us good.
Any other questions?